introduction video that I should have filmed forever ago and have now taken about a bajillion takes for. This playlist, assuming I did technology right, is for If Dr. Lionel Elliot Didn't Suck, a found family comedy miniseries that I've been making based off of one singular episode of the Magnus Archive, specifically episode 34, Anatomy Class. The last 3 or so videos on the playlist should be an explanation on why I decided to do this in the first place. They're at the end because mostly the point is that you can just scroll through roughly in order. Speaking of which, originally I was captioning these videos, or at least making a little header image with part X. Not going to be doing that anymore. There aren't numbers. I'm going to put them in order on the playlist. You can consume them in whatever order you want. That out of the way, here are the character introductions. First off, getting it out of the way, Cassie Hoft, she, they pronouns. I made her up, she's not real. In my series, she is Lionel Elliott's niece. Again, this is a made-up character. Over the course of the canon of the original show, they would eventually become a vast avatar, but they're not at the moment, they're just here for fun. Max Musterman, whose name is a tongue twister to me for some reason. He, him pronouns. If there was going to be any leader of the group that is basically a borderline hive mind, it would be Max. I headcanon that he has an unhealthy relationship with authority that will eventually lead to him becoming a cop. He is a cop in canon. Oh god. On the other end of the spectrum of problematic trans fave, we have Jane Doe, she, her pronouns, and future professional gaslighter. That's in the original universe though, so we can just pretend she doesn't do that this time. Fulana Fulani uses any pronouns, and definitely not just because in one of the earlier episodes I messed up, had Dr. Elliot call him Fulana, and then retroactively decided that he actually didn't care about gender. Because honestly, most of the class probably doesn't care about gender, because caring about gender means you care about being perceived, which is not necessarily their goal. I don't make mistakes, shut up. Pyotr and Pavel Petrov, neither of them use a filter, both of them use he, him pronouns. I've decided not to use a filter for them so that I can slap on a different filter in various other video contexts without sacrificing my shorthand. Juan Perez, he, him pronouns, the closest thing that the class has to a class clown, mostly because he learns his social cues from pop culture, which means he spends a lot of time watching movies and has a basic idea of what a joke might be. Jan Novak, she, they, because I said so. There's no good reason for Jan to be my favorite, but I'm pretty sure she is. I just think she's neat. And finally, he, him pronouns, Dr. Lionel Elliot. You know him, you tolerate him, you allow me to do a British accent because I make him better. Do I take requests? No. But if you suggest something and I like it, I will credit you. If you don't agree with any of my headcanons, write fanfic about it. That's not a dismissal. Please do it. Write fanfic. I'm begging you. Please, please write fanfic. Oh my god, please.
So, yes, I know you're all very used to gore, but yeah, it's a bit awful. This is what women have to go through. It's part of the reproductive process. Yes, Erica. I'm not doing that. That's perfectly understandable, Erica. I'm Max now. Alright, now hold on. It's on the insides. No one else can see. You could still be a girl. Right, okay, so John brings up a good point. It's Jane now.
So when I said women, I meant people with uteruses. You guys can just be trans.
I do not have a uterus. I will need to grow one. Thank you, Jan. You do that. Okay. Good chat, everyone. Right, hope you all did your homework. So first off, smiles. Let's see them. Jane, right off the bat, that is too many teeth. Is this better? It's better on the teeth. Right. Pavel, what have I told you about looking up the wrong primates as reference? Not to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Falana? Other end of the spectrum, where are your teeth at all? They are on the inside. Great. And Max? Technically correct, but you do look like you want to skin me. An allegation which I would appreciate if you would deny. I will not skin you. Not technically what I asked, but thank you. And again, those are called the craniofacial muscles. Alright, now I'll be passing around a sheet very shortly on micro-expressions, which are going to be, yes, one. Would this be a micro-expression? It is a very small smile. Ha 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 ha!
One, was that a joke?
Ha 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 ha! I'm so proud of you. Actually, I think a micro-expression would be this.
I never know whether to laugh or scream with you kids.
Ha 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 ha. So, last 15 minutes of class, I actually wanted to talk to you guys about something a bit different. I talked to Elena, and it doesn't seem any of you are taking any other classes this term. What exactly do you do with your free time? Homework and experiments. Yeah, that second point's a little concerning, but we can talk about it another time. I wanted to know if any of you would be interested in maybe learning about some different kinds of insides. Why would we need to know the insides of other animals? So, no, actually, different kinds of human insides. There are different kinds of human insides? Yes, psychology, mainly, sociology, maybe even delving into philosophy, anthropology, all the sort of humanities I'm really not qualified to teach. You would help us with more insights? But that is not your job. Well, yes, but if I'm being honest, you've all sort of grown on me. No, Jane, that is a figure of speech. Sit back down.
And it's not like they're bad kids. Well, I don't know if I could say they're good kids either. It's like they exist entirely outside the realm of human morality. Sorry, this face means I'm nearly at my wits' end. I know what the face means, Lionel. Right, sorry, I think I forgot who I was talking to for a moment there. How long has it been since you've talked to another human?
You said my students were...
Yeah, no, there's no other human. I don't know, I talked to Elena recently. What does it matter? Have you considered coming down and making a statement sometime?
At your institute? What, so a bunch of dodgy academics who barely know what they're talking about can poke into mine and my students' lives?
I'm one of those dodgy academics.
I said what I said.
Lionel.
Sorry, would you excuse me? I've got to take this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, they grow back. Well, they grow back the first time. No, yes, they definitely do not grow back again after that. Right, oh god, you talked to it, didn't you? What did you... yep, no, I can understand why that might have made it that... Yeah, that's called crying. Yeah, don't do that again. No, yes, alright, how about this? Next class, I'll go a bit over life cycles. No, you're all well past puberty, so aging's going to be a bit of a one-way slope for the rest of you. Yes. Right, alright, was that all? Alright, perfect. Yes, thank you, Juan. How did I know it was you? Well, you're the only one who tries to use pop culture as a reference for social cues, so you're the only one who thinks that the proper ending to a phone call is I love you. Alright, how about try this? Alright, thank you. Bye-bye. Yes, just like that. Alright, I'll see you in class. What? Where do I even start? Staying alive, staying alive. Good, yes. And that rhythm keeps going. Now, it's actually going to vary in its tempo a little bit based on exertion and blood flow and breath control and all that. There's a lot of different factors, and we'll be talking about them a bit more tomorrow. And remember, the blood is going in as well as out. It's about the circulation. Now, this is going to be a little bit more complicated as we get a bit deeper into the cardiovascular... Peter, your heart shouldn't actually be making that noise. Right, okay, now. No one's heart should be making any audible music. Thank you. What is dihydrate? What is what? Some of the other students I have heard around campus say hydrate or dihydrate. What does it mean to dihydrate? Oh, it's a joke reminding people to hydrate. Just it's dihydrate it's a pun. They're actually saying if you don't hydrate you'll die. This is for you. What? So you do not dihydrate. Thank you. Right, okay, sorry, I'm back now. Anyway, as I was saying, you keep leaving, but coming back. You are not running away. Why are you leaving? Right. I suppose I'll take a quick tangent here to tell you all about the side effects of hydration in excess. Dr. Elliot, I have a question. We have talked about this. It is deeply unsettling when you forget to move your lips. I mean, yes, sure, they have their moments of being a bit off-putting. There was the whole incident with the yawning. They learned you were supposed to copy that in a manner of speaking. And then, of course, there was the blinking. They didn't know you were supposed to do that at first, but they took to it with some gusto. Oh, and, of course, then there's the breathing. That really freaked me out the first time they started doing it on cue after I told them about the respiratory system. But once you've watched them get equally excited over you describing the feel of a pancreas and explaining what breakfast is, well, it's a bit hard to still be scared of them.
Uncle Lionel, I know for reasons I cannot quite wrap my head around, you've grown very fond of them, but they are dangerous.
What? No, it's been over a month since they've allegedly killed anyone.
They've killed people. Allegedly. And in their defense, I'm not confident they knew what death was. Are you listening to yourself? What, should I be expecting them around for family dinner?
Do you know, that's not a terrible idea.
Yes, it is.
Hey there! I haven't seen your face around. That is unlikely. What, are you famous or something? Go on then, what's your name? I'm called Piotr Pavel. Right on. I'm Alice Carlson. It's nice to meet you. It is nice to meet you as well. You smell like Esmetiras. Nice patchouli, love. Hello, Dr. Elliot. This is Piotr Pavel. What is patchouli? What is asleep? Yes. Hello, Dr. Elliot.
Yes, no, hi, yes, I'm here. Piotr, I was asleep. What is this? Can this wait until it is not 3 in the morning? Okay, yeah.
Right, thank you, Jan. Alright, you should all have the paper now. Good. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. We're going to be doing a crash course in the automatic nervous system today. Now, once you've got that covered, that's going to be all the sorts of things like breathing and blinking, usually, and blood flow and heart rate and all that sort of stuff. There is a term on this sheet I do not recognize. What is sexual arousal?
You're very
No. No, there's no way I'm going to have to be the one to give you the birds and the bees talk. I thought you said other animals would not be a part of this course. Oh my god, this is my life now.
Oh, Lionel, don't often see you in here. You're looking a bit rough around the edges.
I just had to give my students the sex talk. The sex talk? You're not teaching a grade school class I don't know about, are you? No, it's my spillover class. They're a bit, I think they were raised in a cult or something. Oh, my. Well, how was class besides that?
And then after the mastication process, you swallow, and that's when the digestion is going to start. Alright, there's an easier way to do this. How would you all like to come around for dinner sometime?
No, yeah, I think I made normal decisions after that. Why are all of your names so middle-of-the-road common? They are not that common. None of us are named Michael. So just for future reference, don't call me between the hours of, let's say, midnight and 7 a.m., unless it's an emergency, alright? Dr. Elliot?
God, yes, what, hello? What did I tell you?
Dr. Elliot, pick me up. I am scared.
What?
I am scared. They have drugs here, and
What's that noise you're making? Peter, what? Shut up. Hey, Cassie, do you think it would be indicative of me being off my rocker if I bought a parenting book? Yes, I know what time it is.
I mean, they're not monsters. Fine then, creatures of fear. No, creatures of fear wouldn't... Well, first of all, I don't love you calling them creatures, but second of all, they wouldn't themselves experience fear, would they? What do you mean? You've seen them afraid? Of what? Well, maybe not afraid, but uncomfortable, at least. Do you remember I told you I took them to that anatomy museum? They did not like the tumours. It is fleshy. Ooh, yes, I suppose fleshy is the right word. Although it's not necessarily the first... Jay? I introduced them to the concept of people watching, just for, replicating social cues and such, and they were fine with that until... If we also look like people, might we not also be watched? I do not want to be watched. Why did you tell them to people watch? Not the point. And the tumors, no one likes tumors. I thought they were very interesting. You are not the sample pool for normalcy. Fair enough. Oh, there was one more. It's hard to tell because, well, one's been getting the rest of them to watch pop culture sort of stuff so they can get an idea of character and such. And they're always practicing their facial expressions, but, What? I think Jan might be afraid of thunder.
Oh, that's probably them. Cassie, could you get the door?
Do I have to? No, yeah, I have to. Hi! Oh, my God, all of you. Okay, hello. We are here for dinner with Dr. Elliot. You are his niece. Told you about me, did he? You're all very dressed up. Yes. Was that a compliment? Sure, yeah, why not? Thank you. It is sometimes customary to respond to a compliment with another compliment. You are also wearing clothes. No, Max, like this. You have very beautiful eyes. Oh, thank you. Do you plan on saving them after you die? Uncle Lionel! No, we talked about this. No rearranging your skull in public. Where did you even learn that face?
Good morning, class. What has happened to your face? My face? I shaved my beard.
I do not understand.
Well, it was getting a bit thick, and I wanted to try a mustache, so shaved the beard.
Shaved?
Oh, yes, hair isn't, it isn't a part of a living organism, so it can be cut painlessly. And the follicles it'll grow back, but you can cut it, so I did. Shaved it.
Can you grow it back now?
No, it takes a bit of time.
I am experiencing dislike.
Okay, well, it's my face, and I quite like it, actually, so...
We have learned about this. This is a difference of opinion.
Yes, thank you, Piotr, very good, and in my opinion, I like the mustache.
Yes, because opinions are allowed to be wrong. Yes, I remember now.
All right, hang on.
And just one more reminder, please. We have another class with us, so while we do have more time in the museum, we are not allowed to be creepy. That's not how... Yes, all right, please. I don't want to have any more uncomfortable conversations with Laura. Did I hear my name?
Nope.
Are you allowed to be creepy?
I'm not creepy. One, put your hands down. All right, everyone, let's just go look at some anatomy. All right, let's go.
Are you worried about how your students are going to interact with the others? They're strange with people. Oh, they're all adults. And look, they're making friends already.
Hi, Petey! So that's why you were so convinced I should know your face. I didn't know you'd go here.
Why are you engaging in violence?
Sorry, no, it's friendly. Fucking hell, alright, you got an arm on you.
I have two. Or maybe not.
Oh, god damn it.
What is a scavenger hunt?
It's like a game where you're supposed to find all the things on the list. It does say it's for kids, though.
Technically, we have not been alive for very long. I would like to do the scavenger hunt.
Well, you have found... What was that first part? Now, we're going to be splitting up to go look on our own time in a moment, but I do want to have a quick note on the sarcophagus. Can you pay attention in the back, please? Stop looking at them.
Would you stop being so weird about it? It's fine. I met Petey at a party.
Sorry, Doctor.
Right. As I was saying, the preservation technique... I'm gonna go talk to them. Cover for me.
Alice, Roberta Coulson, you get back here!
This is the right exhibit. Albert Einstein's brain. Thin sections from the brain of one of the greatest geniuses of the 20th century, Albert Einstein,
were encased in these glass slides and colored with special dyes to better see the tissue under a microscope. That is a sliced-up brain. So it is not the color that our brains are supposed to be, but it is the sections. This is much better detail than we would get with our own dissections. Man, you guys went to like the most complicated thing first. I don't think I'd actually be able to get any sort of detail from just like a sliced up brain, because like neurochemicals and all that sort of shit is so complicated, right? I'm Alice Carlson. I'm Petey's friend. We met at a party. Right on. Oh, that's not supposed to go there. Vermilion heart. A heart injected with red dye to show blood vessel patterns. Is that the proper color of blood? Dr. Elliot? Oh, Jan! Is this the proper color of blood? Oh, it's a bit darker than that. But, very interestingly, only on the outside. Alright, and with that done, you may all go off on your own independent... Michaela, where's Alice? She went to go hang out with the weirdo professor's class. Sorry, that just kind of slipped out. They're all adults. They're all adults. Why is it like teaching grade schoolers? And you can actually sort of see that in the veins on the back of my hand right over here. So yeah, it's kind of blue. So it will change like this. Oh, that's very good, yes, but you're not going to see that on the outside. Cool. Who are you? She is Alice Carlson. She is the one who smells like Esmentirus patchouli. Oh, you remembered. What? Never mind. What are you doing here? Gil said we could go off forever, so I'm hanging out with your class, because I like their vibes, You're one of Dr. Gil's students. Right on. How high are you? No, Doc. It's high. How are you? There. That one. Hurtle's skull. The skull of Constantin Jakik is part of our famous Hurtle skull collection, which was used to disprove phrenology, a racist 19th century pseudoscience based on the idea that you could tell someone's character by looking at the shape of their skull. We have learned about skulls. Why did you not tell us about this science? Well, it says it right there. It's a pseudoscience. It is a fake science? What does that mean? It means it's something people believed at one point, but it's not actually based in any sort of fact. It is not science as we would understand it today. It's made up. Then why did people believe it? There's a number of contributing factors. It says right there, it was racist. There are some people out there who are just truly awful and will look for any excuse to justify the preconceived notions that they have, and so they will make up things like saying that if your forehead is a certain size, it means you are primitive and thus don't deserve basic human rights. This isn't really my area to explain to you, but your psychology courses will probably touch on this, or maybe sociology. I don't know exactly which topic it would come up in. Most of our other classes have brought it up at least once. That sounds about right. Look, the other reason is people believe things that aren't true all the time. Science is learning how the world works around you, and we think there are rules, but sometimes we discover that we were wrong about the way that those rules were set up, and the whole joy of the field is learning where we were wrong and why, and learning how things actually work, piecing the world together like it's a puzzle. Is that why you were excited to teach us? Even though at first you thought we were impossible? That's part of it, yes. And if I'm being honest, the seven of you have... The seven... So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Where's Piotr?
So you guys don't know, anything. We are learning. Mostly about the insides. Eh? But some about not the insides. Things that are here. Right on. Do you know what kissing is?
That does not look like the skeletal structure Dr. Elliot showed us. Left shoulder of Harry Eastlack. Harry's skeleton shows extra bone growth from a rare disease known as fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, or FOP.
Flora, hi. Have you seen Piotr? Maybe. I don't actually know your students' names, Lionel. Right, he's the one with, he's the... Wait, well, he's got sort of a normal... No, that doesn't help.
Oh, that hurts.
Pavel? He looks like that. Thank you, Pavel. I might have seen him go off with Alice. I think they're in the gallery area over there. There are characters in some of Juan's shows that participate in that activity. It seems very wet. Oh. I mean, yeah, it's like kind of the appeal. Where are you going? I have found something very interesting and must tell the others. Oh, there you are. Hello, Dr. Lionel. Goodbye, Dr. Lionel.
There is a man I have heard of called the Bone Turner. Do you think there is some way we could contact him? Hello, Piotr. There is a room called the Bone Room, but the public can only see it through special appointment. Dr. Elliot, can we go to the Bone Room?
Maybe? I can ask someone.
And if not, we can make our own Bone Room.
Oh, don't do that! And there they go again. You know, there's got to be a more convenient way to do this. We are doing them in order. Right, well, the hunt continues. Have fun. No, we are not calling it a hunt. But it's a scavenge... Right, okay, whatever. Oh, this tomb is new. And then he just, walked away. He literally, sped walked out of there. Alice, I'm trying to read... Were you flirting with a guy from the robot class? A bit. What is wrong with you? Oh, shit. Yeah! We were 10 feet from the garden. That would have been such a better place for it. Oh my god.
A zoo eye. Papier-mâché anatomical model of a human eye made by French physician Louis Thomas Jerome Azou. These are becoming increasingly harder to pronounce. Human mouth shapes feel very limiting sometimes. This is part of a larger exhibit called Memento Mutter. What does it mean to be human? Wait, go back. What is that one?
You all right, Lionel? You look concerned. My students have been staring at their own skin for 25 minutes, and even they are starting to look unsettled. Oh, so mostly business as usual. Right. Are we sure this one is human? Cornucutaneum, a human horn, caused by unusual skin tumors. Dr. Elliot, the last time we were here you were displeased that I attempted to rearrange my skull in public. Does adding horns count? Okay, so while that's not actually rearranging your skull, I'm still going to say it's probably not a very good idea. That definitely falls into the category of freaking people out that we talked about. And also, the horns are indicative of something being wrong. You get that, right? That's what a tumor is. We've covered those.
Could you teach us about customization that is not indicative of something gone wrong?
Oh, I didn't realize. Yes, of course. Well, let's start with talking about bone structure. Where are we going? What are you doing? I want to go hang out with them again. And you're coming with me because you're being really weird about it. I do not need to come with you so you can hit on the robot freakazoid, Alice. You can make terrible life decisions on your own. I'm not... Alright, listen. Pacey's cute. He looks exactly like an average white man. But that's not why I want to go hang out with him. I just think they're, funky, you know? I don't. I mean, I do know that you think that, but I don't know why. Well, you would if you just come with me. Alice! And that's really just a rudimentary overview of, the basics of the physical components, and I'll teach you more about that next class. We'll actually go in depth. We'll look at some examples. There are some non-physical aspects.
Like what?
Well, accents. For one thing, I'd been meaning to bring it up, actually. It's something I noticed very early on with you all. You've got names from sort of across the globe, but all of your accents are... Well, they're not even English. They're sort of American, actually. Accent is associated partially with the positioning of the mouth, but also with cultural and neurological influences. We can imitate it if necessary. Have you just been sitting on that the whole time? Why would he have been sitting on it? It is an action associated with his mouth. Is that supposed to be German? No, Max, it is a figure of speech. No, okay, Piotr's made sense. Max's was fine. One, that's French. Why are you French?
It is fun.
You hear that? They're doing, like, fun acting improv something or whatever. They're, like, changing their accent. You love that shit. You do that all the time.
Not on purpose.
There. Good eye, Petey.
I do not enjoy that there are multiple eyes on this list.
Get it? Eye? Because there's an eye.
Oh my god, Alice, can you just...
Ha 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 ha.
Right on. Wax eye model. Finally, we are back to words that are easy to pronounce. This common black eye, or... I spoke too soon. This common black eye, or periorbital hematoma, is part of a collection of wax models of eye injuries. Models like this were made by artisans and used to teach medical students. Oh, that is us, technically. I can read the rest. Yes, you are capable. The models were created to be as highly realistic as possible, which may be why this is one of the spots where people most frequently faint in the museum.
Whoa, they got the details fucking good on this. Michaela, come check this out.
Dr. Elliot, what is fainting?
What was that, Jan?
Never mind, I have figured it out. Further use of something that I had not previously understood as very useful. We must look into this wax modeling more.
Where am I? Oh god, what happened?
Oh good, your eyes are open. Hang on, I'm checking your pupils. What are you checking her pupils for?
Unevenness. Son of a concussion, she kind of hit her head pretty hard.
Concussion?
I keep forgetting you don't know things. How the fuck are you med students?
How is that the first time you fainted here? The entire lower levels like this. Yeah, I've been a little distracted following your disaster of a social experiment. It's not a failed experiment. Look, we made friends. Jane and Yon agreed to stay back with us. According to Juan, this is the common pack behavior of females when encountering restrooms. I said what I said. Coal lung. This lung from a coal miner is black instead of the light pink color of a healthy lung. In addition to its discoloration, it also shows scarring and damage from breathing in coal dust. What color are the lungs normally meant to be?
The model we have in the back of our classroom is actually fairly accurate in regards to the colours.
What does one do if their lungs become discolored? Is there a way to recolor them properly?
Good question. That depends on the nature of the discoloration. In this particular case is co-workers' pneumoconiosis. And that's not curable. That's something that you're going to seek treatment for the symptoms. You're going to try and ease lifestyle. But there are other reasons that your lungs may become discolored. Smoking, for instance. You can quit smoking and hopefully, in theory, your lungs will heal over time. So, hopefully my lungs are the right color at this point.
You smoked?
Yeah, Cassie still gives me grief about just replacing one addiction with the other, says I've just replaced cigarettes with coffee, but, at least that's not actively killing me.
Why would you engage in behavior that you knew was harming you?
Well, there's a lot of factors. Social stigma, nicotine addiction. We can talk about it another time. But back to the lung, for now. In certain cases, there may be people who have things like cystic fibrosis or pulmonary hypertension, and if no other treatment has worked, then in extreme cases they may have a lung transplant. Now that's not necessarily discoloration, that's transplant. Oh, yes, replacing an organ with a working organ from someone else.
Give me your kidney, I want to try something.
No, okay, it's more complicated than that.
Preserved tattoo. The delicate flower pattern here is part of a tattoo from the early 20th century. Tattoos were still relatively uncommon at this time, though sailors frequently used them as symbols of their trade or for good luck on the high seas. This crucifix may have been a marker of faith or a sign of protection. That was added to the skin? How?
I mean, tattoo parlors, generally, where you go to get inked up professional-like.
Inked up?
There's a specialized machine involved in the process that inserts pigment under the top layer of skin, so ink as in tattoo ink. Yeah, okay, specialized machine is, optional, though.
You could grow it.
Well, fuck, I couldn't, but I guess you could. No, I was talking about stick and pokes.
Is that exactly what it sounds like?
Yeah, totally. Get a sewing needle, sterilise it, and some alcohol. Usually, like, copious amounts of alcohol around what I'm doing with this anyway. I mean, shit. All my favourite tattoos basically came from... Like, check out, this one's the newest one right over here.
What is that?
No idea. I got this at the party I met you at, actually. Like, about an hour before you came in. Yeah, friend dinner on the couch. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
It is very esmenterous.
I still don't know what that means, bruv.
You said all of your favorite tattoos. You have multiple?
Oh, yeah, man, when I'm wearing shorts, my thighs are a fucking party. And, you know, I mean, also a couple more you can't really see.
Why would you put decorations on your body if they can't be seen?
Well, you can see them if you ask nicely.
May I please...
Nope, I will explain that one later.
Is it common to have tattoos that cannot usually be seen?
I mean, common kind of depends on who you ask, but, like, it's not uncommon.
Do you have any tattoos, Dr. Elliot?
Wonderful question. Hey, why don't we look at this exhibit over here? That's a nipple. I could have pointed at anything, and that is...
Dr. Elliot, I have a question.
When I turn around, your shirt had better still be on. Finally, item 10. Cheng and Ang. Plaster death cast of the famous Siamese twins, Cheng and Ang Bunker. Right, so Siamese twins,
We know this one. Piotr and I briefly considered it.
you considered... When did... Why... When it... One thing at a time... You actually are twins?
No.
Okay.
What is a death cast?
So... And it's not even like I wanted to get dragged along in the first place, right? I mean, this was Alice's weird mission.
Oh?
Right, yeah, so then we're in the bathroom, and they're being, like, really weird.
Very good.
And then...
You're not listening, are you, Professor?
I was listening for the first 15 minutes.
Whatever. Alice never even got a stupid kiss out of it.
Is that why she was asking Piotr about kissing?
What are you doing here? We are all here. We are looking at Cheng and Ang.
I'd have thought you'd seen them walk in. Are you sure you're not concussed?
I'm not concussed. I'm just apparently fucking stupid.
Piotr.
Yes, Juan?
Earlier, you'd said that Alice was asking you about kissing. It is possible that she was requesting to be kissed. I was not aware of that. And also, I'm not fully sure what that would entail. Alice, Carlson, may I speak with you for a moment? Yeah, what's up, Juan? I don't know your last name. Perez, do I have your consent to demonstrate something you were asking Piotr about?
What was I asking? Sure, I guess.
Like this.
What?
Oh, that thing I was asking about. Okay. I see. Juan, what are you doing? Demonstrating practical application. Why do you taste like candle?
What are mouths supposed to taste like?
Okay, I know we didn't have time to cover everything that came up in the museum, so I'm making a list so that we are sure to cover every topic that we wanted to discuss. So, questions. Jane.
What color are brains?
Sort of a greyish pink on the outside. I believe they're mostly white on the inside.
And on the topic of brains, what are neurochemicals?
Outside of my expertise is what? I know brains are technically part of anatomy, but the workings of brains are so utterly strange and specific to themselves that it's its own area of expertise, really. I will see what I can find on neuroscience for you. Yes, Jan.
Why wouldn't blood be blue on the outside?
Oxygenation, right. Circling back to the cardiovascular system. Piotr.
Did you ask someone about the bone room?
I did. I don't think it's what you want it to be, but we can look into it. Fallon.
Why is skin like that?
Like what? Right. Skin. Pavel.
Less of a question and more a request for a continuation of a topic. You said you would talk more about bone structure and proportions.
Yes, thank you. The customization. Jan.
What is a concussion?
Type of traumatic brain injury that we can go into more detail on later. Fallon.
What is a nicotine addiction?
Probably something you should be learning about from a different one of your teachers, but I suppose I did say I would talk about it. Max.
How do organ transplants work?
Excellent question. Added to the list. Jan.
Why did you stop me from asking Alice about her tattoos? The tattoos she was talking about are likely in places that would only typically be seen during sexual encounters, and well, I would say facetious, but I don't actually know. It was a sort of flirtation. Regardless of how that might have gone down, it wasn't something that should be happening in a museum. I'm going to have to cover sexual reproduction again, aren't I? On a related note, you never answered if you had any tattoos. Yes, well, that's not actually an anatomy question, is it? 1! What are mouths supposed to taste like? That depends on a number of different factors. Very interesting question. I will look into it for you and we can get to it in a later class. Yes, Pavel. Our hearts are not meant to be making audible music, but are other parts of the body meant to? No. What? Your upper thigh is singing. My upper thigh... Oh, that's coming from me! Mum, I'm teaching right now. What do you mean Cassie told you? Thank you, full on. Right, I can see some of you are already getting some ideas, so right up front, I am not going to be giving any feedback until we have reviewed everything. Customization. I promised a bit of a crash course, so here we go. Question unrelated to feedback. If no one is supposed to see our bones, then why would they be relevant to this topic? Yes, bone structure, right. Well, bones are the framework, right? So however they are arranged is going to inform how the organs and the fat and the muscle and all of that are going to lie on and around them, and that's going to influence the appearance. So, I believe I have a diagram on this specifically on the second page? Third page. Didn't you say phrenology was a pseudoscience? Thank you, Jan. And, yes, why do you... the skulls. Well, it's the idea that studying the shape of the skull has anything meaningful to tell you about the race of the person in question. That's the bunk thing, not the differences in general. There are actually... there's quite a bit of variety, more than most people consider outside of, well, cheekbones, but it's rather subtle. Subtler than that, Pavel. You said you wouldn't give feedback until the end. You're right, I did. Right, well, we've got a lot to cover. Yes, full on, I will get to skin. Thank you for your patience. Where were we? Jaws! And although they're both recessive traits, it's not going to be an entirely unlikely combination. We're getting far more into the weeds of genetics than is actually relevant for an anatomy class, or possibly for any of you in general. I don't actually know how relevant this would be. We do not have parents. I don't have the brain space to consider the implications of that right now, Jane. Right, where were we? I think we were still meant to be on fat distribution. It does remind me, though, once you've all decided, could you let me know your shirt sizes? Needn't be very exact. Shirt sizes? Oh, right, well, I'll see if I can't print out a chart or something for you. In brief, it's a standard, purportedly standard method of, sizing clothing, small to large, that sort of thing. Will we be graded on our shirt size? What? No. It's, well, my mother would like to make sweaters for you all, and I tried to tell her there are 7 of you, and she just said something about speed knitting competitions, and then changed the topic. Do I give you all grades? Some of our other teachers give us grades. Right, well, I think we're just going to stick with a pass-fail, as it were. You do know that's not a natural hair colour, right? Is that feedback? No. Fat distribution. And that will basically wrap up our general overview of organ transplants. Any questions before I continue? Yes, Max. You stopped me from doing a transplant in the museum because it was more complicated. What exactly did you mean? Well, right, that's something we'll be getting into in a moment, but put briefly, it's, well, first of all, not something you should be doing on a field trip, or outside of a surgical setting in general. But there's also the matter of, reconnection, compatibility, blood types, that sort of thing. Do we not all have the same blood type? Not necessarily, no, it's... Well, actually, you might. That's the problem with throwing out the whole syllabus. I can never remember what we've covered. Have I talked about blood antigens yet? You've mentioned them, but not in detail. Right, well, I'll cover it in more detail later, but the brief overview is that the antigens in your blood determine what type the blood is, with different types being compatible for different purposes. Again, we'll cover it later. A or B antigens will translate into A, B, or AB blood types accordingly, or O if there aren't any, and Rh antigens will translate to positive types.
Honestly, if there aren't any antigens in your bloodstream, I imagine a rapid home test will probably show you all up as O negative. Does that mean we are compatible? Maybe. And that wasn't the only complication, remember? I believe I mentioned reconnection. But we have already covered how the organs are meant to be connected, haven't we? Now, the small intestines are a bit fun, actually. They'll just sort of wiggle back into place with the way the muscles work. No reaching into your body during class. We've talked about this. And no scalpels. Oh, Jan, don't put it on the desk. That's not sanitary.
What is this one called?
That's your appendix. You don't actually have to put it back if you don't want to, although then we'd have to deal with disposal. You know what? I'm going to book time in the lab, and until that, we're going to tables. No, not tables. Don't table the appendix. We have, haven't we?
Could we perform transplants if you booked lab time again?
Fine. Yes, all right. Any other questions? Pavel, yes.
How many kidneys can you have?
Interesting question. More than you might think.
Sorry I'm late. Today we're learning about sinuses.
Question. Where are the sinuses?
No,